On Osrc News at 7, Ondo State Government releases white paper on chieftaincy matters. Construction of Igbotu Township Road in Esodu gets underway. NEMA officials rescue 9 trapped ladies from sinking building in Lagos. And from the foreign scene, amid deadlocked negotiation on nuclear deal, Iran's economy suffers.
Thank you very much for joining us on the news tonight. I am Oyewumi Ayinigbara. Ondo State's Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu says the struggle for the President of Nigeria to come from the southern part of the country in 2023 should not be in vain. Governor Akeredolu, who is the chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, said the North cannot retain power after spending 8 years in office. The governor, who spoke in Ibadan, Oyo State capital at the 40th Holy Ghost Convention dinner of the Sword of the Spirit Ministries, explained that he led his colleagues in the Southern Governors Forum to demand a Southern presidency despite stiff opposition from some quarters. He called on the people not to throw away this chance, particularly from the southwest where Bola Tinubu hails from. Akeredolu, who described Tinubu as the best choice, added that he has the experience and the courage to tackle the challenges facing the country. Governor Akeredolu said he is also concerned about the Muslim presidential ticket of his party, the APC. He urged Christians to look beyond religion and focus on the competency of Tinubu and Shatima.
What I believe in, when you ask me, my word was loud, that presidency must come to the South. Is that take it or leave it. It's the minimum we can get. It must come from the South. The North cannot produce president 8 years and want to retain president for another 8 years. It's not going to work. It will not work. Luckily, it came not just to South, it came to Southwest. Luckily. Now, where do we stand now? Where we stand now is more or less like, I understand our feelings. Because I'm one of you, I'm Christian. All of us here, I'm worried. What will be our gain? And that, why is my party throwing up a Muslim ticket? It's been a real issue for all of us. Even members of the party, it's been an issue for us. And we have debated this, we have fought on it, we have done this, before the vice president was chosen, we fought, we did this, we did that. What is there is this. The vice president has been chosen. The ball stops on the table of the president. We have a capable hand who can manage the affairs if given the opportunity. Do you have a man who is bold enough to ward off and challenge this incursion into our land? That is it. What do we want to fight?
Governor of Ondo State Oluwarotimi Akeredolu speaking there on the presidential candidate come 2023. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, says the acquisition of sensitive and non-sensitive materials for all elections remains the sovereign responsibility of the federal government. He said this at the closure of Phase 1 and the launch of Phase 2 of the European Union support to democratic governance in Nigeria EU SDGN, held at the International Conference Center, Abuja. Yakubu said INEC was a key beneficiary of the first phase of the program conceived under the National Indicative Program 2014-2020, adding that the Commission received various support, mainly in the areas of training and capacity building for staff, engagement with stakeholders, voter education and public enlightenment, and the promotion of inclusivity. The INEC chief stressed that the core cost of electoral activities, including the acquisition of sensitive and non-sensitive materials for all elections, remain the sovereign responsibility of the federal government. He also appreciated the support of international development partners to enhance training and capacity building of officials. The Ondo State government has released a white paper on chieftaincy matters in the state towards promoting and improving on the traditional institution. The Attorney General and the Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Charles Titiloye, and his local government and chieftaincy affairs counterpart, Mr. Akinwumi Shure, while briefing newsmen at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure, said the white paper will put an end to various chieftaincy issues in the state. And Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole reports that the white paper is divided into 3 parts. Also, the Ondo State government has flagged off the construction of Township Road at Igbotu in Ese Odo local government area and water treatment plant at Moltein in Elijah local government area of the state. While flagging off the projects, the chairman of Ondo State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, Osopadek, Sam Erejua, reiterated government's commitment to bringing development to the mandate area of the state. Kunle Ario reports.
Board members and management team of Osopadek, led by the chairman, Mr. Sam Erejua, was at Igbotu to flag off Township Road in the community. The event was witnessed by the royal father, chiefs, community leaders, and top government officials, presenting the design of the road to the project engineer. Chairman of the commission, Sam Erejua, thanked the state government for prompt release of funds for the project.
And we promise that we are on your behalf that before this time next year, that Mr. Governor will be in a good to commission this road. Don't be a militant to the contractor. Help them.
The monarch of the community, Balue of Igbotu, Obadeni Ajayi, said the project will go a long way in alleviating the discomfort of his people.
I'm telling you today, this is our greatest headache.
This is not going to be an abandoned project. These projects will be completed by God's grace before the end of this tenure of this government.
The council chairman, Mrs. Olawumi Shepasia Luko, charged youth of the area to cooperate with the contractor handling the project. The team later moved to the Molutain community, where a water project was handed over to the contractor.
The technical papers. We have seen the problem firsthand, and we will do it. We will do so to the best of our ability, to the resources available to us.
Chairman of the commission and a leader of the community, Chief Pius Agbonshe, described the project as timely. Contractor handling the project, Aaron Akinluwa, promised to deliver the project in record time. The project is expected to be completed in the next 6 months. Kunle Aruyo, OSRC News.
You're still watching OSRC News at 7. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Please stay with us.
It's time to get back to school, and this time going back to school will be even much more fun for everyone. Oh, wow! Because with Capri Sun, you get free pencils, erasers, sharpeners, and more in our free Edu Kit in every carton of Capri Sun.
Just great taste and all of the fun to take back to school in the Capri Sun Back to School promo. Capri Sun, the taste of fun.
T's and C's apply.
Have you back. Visit the station's website on TV and you can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. The National Industrial Court of Nigeria has adjourned till September the 16th, 2022, the suit filed by the federal government against the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU over the industrial action embarked upon by the union about 7 months ago. The federal government approached the court sitting in Abuja requesting an order for ASU to resume while it continues to engage the union to address their dispute. At the proceedings of the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP sought to join the suit as an interested party, but the judge ruled that the suit is not ripe for consolidation by SERAP. The judge said he was only presiding over the matter as a vacation judge and that the case would be assigned to another judge for adjudication. He ordered the parties in the suit to file an exchange court document as they adjourned the matter to Friday, 16 September 2022. General Secretary of the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Francis Akinjole, has revealed reasons behind the protest of aviation workers. Akinjole stated that the Aviation Bill passed by the National Assembly sought to categorize aviation workers as essential service providers, which had an implication on the rights of the workers. NAS had in February passed the Civil Aviation Bill 2022, which sought to repeal the Civil Aviation Act 2006, where the passage of the bill followed the consideration of a report by the Committee on Aviation. Chairman of the committee, Smart Adeyemi, said the aim of the bill was to provide an effective legal and institutional framework for the regulation of civil aviation in Nigeria to conform with the standards and recommendation practices set by the International Civil Aviation Organization. Ondo State House of Assembly has commended Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu for keying into the NG Cares program, which has added value to the well-being of the people of the state. The Chairman House Committee on Agriculture, Taufik Mohammed, during an oversight visit, noted that the governor's move will have positive impact on the economy of the state. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshile Ladisoya Ajayi completes the story.
The objectives of the COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program (NGCARES) is to expand access to livelihood support and food security services, as well as provision of grants for poor and vulnerable households and firms. And in Ondo State, over 3,400 crop and livestock farmers across the 18 council areas have benefited from NGCARES through its Fadama projects, with distribution of agricultural inputs and production access in a bid to strengthen and increase food security in the state. During an on-the-spot assessment of some of the projects executed by the Fadama under NGCARES, the Chairman House Committee on Agriculture, Taufik Mohammed, commended Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu for his efforts at ensuring that the people of the state enjoy dividends of democracy. He expressed confidence that the move will ameliorate the adverse effects of COVID-19 on farmers and encourage food sufficiency, as well as improve the economic development of the state.
Yeah, we've gone around and we see the beauty of the job. Let me appreciate the project coordinator of this good project and his able team. They've done a good job. Yes, we've seen it all, and what we saw, we know it will add value to the well-being of our people in Ondo State, because we know this global project cut across the 18 local government.
Also, the state project coordinator for Fadama, Mr. Shiji Olatunji, who lauded the state government for providing support to farmers, expressed optimism that the visit of the legislator will improve production capacity of the farmers.
We appreciate the coming of the House Committee on Agri. The visit is timely. Not only that, they have pointed our attention to some critical issues which we feel, if we will abide by their corrections, it will boost our performance in the project. We also want to seize this opportunity to thank them.
The state coordinator had earlier hosted the House Committee in a meeting where the parliamentarians were intimated with the activities of the agency. Omoshiliola Adesoya Ajayi, OSRC News.
Listeners of Orange 94.5 FM have been assured of repackaged programming that will further advance societal development. The chairman, Osrc Media Group, while providing an update on the ongoing relocation of Orange FM from Shagari Village to the Media Village in Orital Bele, assured that the recommencement of transmission will accord more time for critical discourses around developing the next generation in society. Osrc's Sahid Aribisala has more.
Today's encounter will take place at the...
Aside the structural components, the composition of Orange 94.5 FM in terms of equipment and human resources are now consolidated at the Osrc Media Village in Orital Bele. Despite these changes, the ongoing process to recommence transmission through the 94.5 FM frequency is on as scheduled. At the center of this relocation is the staff, including Orange FM, Head of News, Mr. Akinwumi Abonude, who applauded the decision of Ondo State government and the management to harmonize operations in the Media Village at Orital Bele.
Whatever you have, you must be able to make good use of it, and that's what government and the management, the top management of the media group is trying to achieve, to use the resources, the human resources at its disposal to achieve maximum results.
If you're in one place, you know that, okay, you have all your schedule, your work, everything you want to do in the same place. You're not thinking about flying the road, the express and all that. I think it's a very good development.
It will be a media village, so to say. There will be exchange of ideas together, and there will be proper monitoring of the program, so to say, by the management.
The chairman, Osrc Media Group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, while providing an update on the relocation exercise, noted that no staff will be negatively affected by the development.
Number one, there's not going to be job loss. Number two, there's going to be more room to have more people to join so that we can display and we can demonstrate our professional competence better. Of course, in terms of the quality of what we are bringing out, I would have liked to say that let's wait and see, because you don't buy new equipment to transmit archaic programming.
Mr. Adebayo assured that the rebirth of Orange 94.5 FM and Alalaye 96.5 FM in new ultra-modern studios will be accompanied by improved programming.
Our charge, our focus, our responsibility is to develop the minds of the people. In other words, as I've always said, we are keen in helping society build a deeper infrastructure of the mind. And that means we have to continually check and recheck what we are dishing out to the people. So when these stations come up, you are going to see new set of programming. For example, you are going to see more programming on our radio that involve a large number of people, because we don't want to talk to people. We want to talk with people. Our responsibility is to communicate government to the people and also bring back people's feelings to the government and also take back government's reactions to the people. We are focusing more on children. Family belt, children belt. We intend to help society by focusing on what we are doing with our children.
The chief executive reassured of the commitment of the state broadcast outfits towards partnering members of society to engender development. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
We go on another commercial break. When we return, we'll give you more stories. Please stay with us.
And this time going back to school will be even much more fun for everyone. Oh, wow! Because with Capri Sun, you get free pencils, erasers, sharpeners, and more in our free EduKit in every carton of Capri Sun.
Just great taste and all of the fun to take back to school in the Capri Sun Back to School promo. Capri Sun, the taste of fun.
T's and C's apply.
You are welcome back. And now back to the story on white papers on chieftaincy matters. And we told you The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Charles Tituluyi, and his local government and Chieftaincy Affairs counterpart, Mr. Akinwumi Shobere, while briefing newsmen at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure, said the white paper will put an end to various chieftaincy issues in the state.
The white paper is divided into 3 parts, namely, 1. Part 1. Disputed chieftaincy declaration in Ondo State. The government white paper under this part covers 51 disputed chieftaincy suits in various communities, making up to 18 local government areas of Ondo State. The content of this section of the white paper is voluminous and runs into many pages. Part 2. Recognition and creation of minor chieftaincy under Part 1 of the CIS law. To Part 3. We deal with upgrading and elevation of existing chieftaincy schools in Ondo State. Government is hopeful that the exhaustive consideration and review of the chieftaincy matter in the state will bring peace, unity, and progress to our various communities. Government hereby assures the public that the review of chieftaincy matter will be a continuous exercise, and requests or issues that have not been looked into in this white paper will be considered in the future.
We want to thank His Excellency, the Governor of those states on for this initiative and this strategy, chieftaincy matters.
Speaking there, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Charles Tituluyi, and his local government and chieftaincy affairs counterpart, Mr. Akinwumi Shobere, speaking on the white papers of the chieftaincy matters. The Department of State Services DSS says the outcome of investigations of Bandits negotiator Toko Mamu is by warning the public against further comment on this subject. A statement by the DSS spokesman Peter Afunaya maintained that the service won't be distracted by the comment relating to Mamu's arrest. The service requested that it should be left alone to concentrate on the ongoing investigations. He added that the service will cease further comment on the subject matter since the court will determine its cause. In Lagos State, 9 persons have been rescued from a sinking building in the Maryland of the state. The Lagos Terminal Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, Ibrahim Farinloye, said the agency received a distress alert on a sinking story building where 9 people are said to be trapped. According to him, the persons, all ladies, have been successfully rescued. Farinloye said about 35 buildings on Akinwumi Estate, 31 buildings on Arowojobe Estate and Ebunotsi Estate, all in Lagos, are also seriously impacted. And now moving to the foreign scene, and as Western nations voice doubt about reviving the 2015 deal, Iran's economy and people are suffering. The Iranian rial has lost 60% of its value since U.S. sanctions were imposed in 2018, and inflation has shot up to more than 40%. Juliet Buna has the reports.
This is Iran's biggest annual carpet exhibition, 400 stalls featuring its most well-known product. The week-long event is a chance for merchants from across the country to showcase their works. The A-Dayon family has been making rocks since 1890. Arach A-Dayon is the 5th generation to run the business that employs 1,500 people across Iran. His family has been producing carpets for the past 130 years, and about 10 years ago used to export up to 90% of them. Now, that number is down to less than 30%. Arach is hoping for a breakthrough in talks on the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA.
If they reach an agreement over the JCPOA and the banking system works well, In 5 or 6 months, I would say the export of carpets would improve by about 50 or 60%. Now, the rate of the US dollar in Iran is also important because it needs to stabilize so the business can rely on one rate.
Domestic sales are also down since most Iranians are no longer able to afford expensive carpets due to the high cost of living and a currency that is devaluing by the day. The Iranian rial is pegged to the US dollar here, and since the United States left the nuclear deal in 2018, the rial has lost more than 60% of its value and inflation is over 40%. That makes Iran one of the world's most unstable countries for foreign investors, and without that investment, its future is bleak. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development gives Iran a level 7 rating in terms of its ability to repay external debt. That is the lowest rate possible, and it is the same as Afghanistan and Iraq. The Chamber of Commerce says $10 billion of capital is leaving Iran every year, and it blames decades of international sanctions.
You need investments. These investments needs stability. Stability in flowing the money. Right now we face outflow of money from the country. The first issue. The second issue, that's very important, if deal reach to the conclusion today, is the income of governments. But again, this uncertainty to continuous of JCPOA case cause problem for us.
Members of the Aidayan family say they hope Iran and the United can reach an agreement and establish peaceful relations. That way, their business and others might survive for other generations. Juliet Buna, Osrc News.
And in sports, champions Rivers United have kicked off their CAF Champions League campaign in spectacular fashion following a 3-0 win over Watanga Football Club of Liberia. The match, which took place on the Adoke Emesimaka Stadium in Port Harcourt, saw all 3 goals in the first half. It took only 8 minutes for Kenechukwu Agu to fire Rivers United into the lead and set the fans in the stadium cheering on the team for more goals. Ebere Dudu made it 2-0 10 minutes later. Then, just in the nick of half-time, Paul Akwa, who got an assist for the second goal, grabbed the third for Rivers United to cap a domineering first half display. The second half also produced flares of brilliance as the opponent tried to get back to the game. The second leg is built to take place next weekend, with Rivers United expected to make a trip to Liberia to defend their 3-goal advantage. And with that sports story, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. The Ondo State government has released a white paper on chieftaincy matters towards promoting and improving on the traditional institution in the state. The present administration has flagged off the construction of Igbotu Township Road in Essel, the local government area of Ondo State. We also told you that the National Emergency Management Agency has rescued 9 persons from a sinking building in the Maryland area of Lagos. And from the foreign scene, Iran's economy is in crisis following a deadlock